And what do you think about the idea that Sally was talking about here, which is to set up a study so that you could present it to Coca-Cola, for example, and say, hey, Coca-Cola, we drink Coca-Cola also in the Haitian community, and we think you should be doing some advertisement as well. So why aren't you doing that? Why are you not getting together with your colleagues in the Haitian community to do that?
Well, the other problem, there's a big competition inside the Haitian community.
Okay.
Too much programmer, If you have only radio station,
okay,
that could employ me as a problem. But you have some people who are looking for the advertising. But now, when you present the show, you will be live every day. And at the same time, you're looking for the money. That's very, very difficult, the Asian community. I don't know for the other community, but the Asian community is very, very difficult.
So the advertising issue is pretty much at the center of it.
I think it's a role that local government and perhaps educational institutions could assist the media producers and journalists in collecting this information and putting it in a format that they can use to reach out to bigger advertisers, because it does seem to be a real bottleneck. I mean, the people are there. The community has many professionals, many businesses, but you need that information to go knock on Coca-Cola's doors, or better yet, a big advertising agency's doors, and say, here's a market. And by the way, you can reach them all or you can reach many of them through Creole. You can segment them. You know who you're getting. You know that they're going to be wanting to send money. They're going to travel a lot. They're going to have this interest in music.
And I know you're working together to bring some people to train, some trainers here to Miami.
We're hoping
hopefully to be working together with the Creole language media. But it's interesting and very instructive to see how the media issues here are so similar to what I find in Haiti anyway, because in Port-au-Prince alone, you have 40 radio stations. And the media, the advertising pie is just so small, so that every station except for 2 or 3 are struggling to live. Struggling to make a living to pay people like your 2 people that are working with you. So it's pretty much we're looking at a mirror image here, like we said from the very beginning. So what other kind of recommendations would we make to the Haitian media here in terms of, how do we grow?
Could I say something first before?
Yes.
I do want to say that a Haitian journalist here told me that they do receive a lot of support from the Haitian community. And I think that should be said, from the people who own bakeries and barbershops, doctors' offices, attorneys' offices. And also, when Haitian media here go into Haiti, they take revenue to Haiti. For example, when Island TV and South Cap Fête go and cover Carnival, they're hiring a lot of people there, and they're pouring money into the economy there. So I think that that's important to say.
They just need more money so they can pour more money into Haiti as well.
Yes.
I'm totally for that.
But one of the things that I think should be listed as a problem is that we're talking about programs versus people owning stations, you see. We've got all of these people with 1-hour shows, a 2-hour show, where I come on 3 days a week, 5 days a week, not only in Miami, but we found in our research that these stations are coming and going, websites are coming and going, TV programs are coming and going throughout the country, even in places throughout other parts of Florida where they're not really huge Haitian American populations. And so there needs to be some sense or some thought given to ownership, as opposed to having to rent space and rent airtime. But now you looked at radio stations and newspapers. Can you shed some?
No, what I saw in radio stations, in newspapers, my friend J.C. Cantave, who is here as well, has a radio program also on Sunday mornings. And he's going through the same issues that Pierre Nazon is going through, issues with financing and so forth, which is major for him, because he's doing this out of his own pocket. And that was pretty much the example that I found out. Same thing with newspapers as well. because the audience is just so limited into newspapers as well. And there's this the issue of what language to use, French or English, and you find newspapers with all three languages in there. But the central issue is always advertising, because we know that without advertising, our media here in the United States would not be as strong as it is. And it's the same issue with the Haitian community as well. You know, these little businesses you're talking about, small businesses that are supporting the media, they can only do it when business goes down. Guess what? Communication is the first thing to go. So it's also reflected in their revenue, in the small organizations' revenue anyway. So, but I wanted to ask Pierre Nazon, is this the idea of ownership? Is this something that you and your colleagues, you talk about? What's the possibilities of that happening, do you think?
For the one or two?
To become an owner of a radio station.
That's the best thing.
Mm-hmm. But what, is that possible?
Well, depends. It's possible, but you need more people put together, looking for the money, but to have your radio station. But now you don't have a Haitian radio station.
Right, but I mean, how can you look at, you need the study to be able to go look for the money. You know, you need to go out and prove to people that there are enough people listening to the programs, and people with money, with buying power, as we say. Do you think this is possible to?
Yes, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, but depending. Maybe you have too much people want to work on the radio station. It's better for them wait 1 hour. It's probably the journalists.
Mm-hmm.
Have the information, everything. We're looking for the money somewhere, but you have 1 hour every day or every 2 weeks or every weeks. But not a big problem in the Haitian community. That person give any news. You don't know the news exactly what kind of news. You have 1 hour, come to talk about anything.
Mm-hmm. But that's what you guys found also, the issue of credibility in the media as well, the Creole language media. That's a huge issue, isn't it?
You know, for people who only speak Creole, Creole language media has very high credibility. For people who are bilingual, it varies with level of education and to a certain degree class. There's criticism of the quality of information, a lot of sort of info entertainment or info advertisement rather than what we might call is hard facts, verified facts, public interest information. One of the ideas that has been tossed around, and again you have to overcome the competition, the level of competition, but is to possibly create a pool of information gathered, because there are journalists in the community who do a very good job. If there was a way to create a pool of information that could be accessible to the different programs, and you know, in the form of PSAs or something like that, that might be a way to share information.
Is that one of the recommendations? Is that from your study as well?
We're looking at that. I mean, there are very good journalists in the Haitian community, but the distribution is so fragmented in the case of radio, and for newspapers, circulation is very low. They're facing all the problems all newspapers are, in addition to issues of language, that it's hard to have, you know, the information reach a wide audience. So one idea would be sort of have a cooperative or like City News in Chicago, but in Creole and for Haitian audiences. That's another idea we're exploring. I don't know how viable that is. I know there's a Haitian Broadcast Association. I think it would have to come through an organization like that, where they said, well, it benefits us to look for market data together, and to have some sort of news gathering operation that we share. That's something that organizations such as that would have to explore themselves, or possibly the university could help in that regard as well.
What other kind of recommendations did you find, Cece?
Well, from the journalists as well as the people that we spoke to in focus groups, I think that it comes down to the question of being more collaborative, in the sense that even when we look at our politics, when we saw that in South Florida, we had at least 4 Haitian American candidates running to be the first Haitian American. Was it 6? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. 6 Haitian American candidates who wanted to run for Congress.
For the 17th district.
For the 17th
It's
district.
4, not 6. 4.
Just 4?
I thought it was 4.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, collectively, when the votes were tallied, they would have had more votes as the Haitian American candidates than Frederica Wilson, who won the election, had. But on the other hand, this community just recently elected its first commissioner in Miami-Dade County, who's Haitian American. So
You mean Commissioner Jean Monestine?
Jean Monestine. So I think there's just a level of taking it to the next level. When we look at journalists, we see them, and this is the same, I find this to be true in the African American community. There's a lot of good intention. We want to make a difference. We want to bring the news to our people. Nobody else is doing it. Who better than we can do it? And so then you have a lot of people with a lot of good intentions, but then you're scattered. I think that was, yeah. And so the next level is it's coming together and trying to find out that model that would work so that we can all benefit from this, but make a difference, and so that you can track the advertisers and have larger audiences and command a greater presence, a media presence for this community.
Do you think that the